This is Blenderstyle, the show where we discuss a blend of heavy and extreme music. In this episode, Space Chaser, Give Us Life. This album was released July 2021 on Metal Blade Records.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Blenderstyle. Casey, this was your pick. Are you familiar with Space Chaser?
I am not familiar with Space Chaser. I've seen 2 videos, I think, that I've shared with you guys in the group chat.
In our group chat, yeah.
But no, I was not familiar with them. I thought they were a thrash metal band from somewhere in America. Turns out they're not.
They're from Germany, right?
Yes, they're from Berlin.
Oh, cool. I don't know where that's at.
It's in Germany.
Oh, cool.
They had a wall there once.
Yep.
That's funny.
But they broke it down.
Oh, did you say Berlin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do know where Berlin.
I said Berlin.
Merlin?
Berlin.
Merlin. It's in Merlin, Germany. Have you've heard of Space Chaser before, Nathan?
No, actually, the first time I heard of them was when Casey sent us those 2 videos.
I think they're kind of a newer band. I didn't really dig into it.
So they were formed in 2011. So
okay.
Fairly new.
Like 10 years old.
Yeah.
10 years old with only 3 full lengths, too.
I think so.
Which is kind of strange.
But you wonder how hard it is to release music in Berlin, like in Germany. Like you know, like it's probably easy to record stuff, but it's probably hard to get a label because that area is so saturated with really good music and really good bands.
They're on a really good label, aren't
well,
they?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
they're on Metal Blade, yeah.
So I'm wondering if it was something that they had to really work at to
well,
get.
You know what happens is they're like trying to be a band in Germany, and people are like, "Where's your electronics?"
Yeah, probably.
They're like, "We don't do electronics in this band."
They actually have some good kind of sci-fi lyrical content, though.
They do. So let's talk about what this sounds like. This is straight up thrash metal, like throwback thrash metal, like it's Exodus, Gamma Bomb, bands like that. That's
but with higher production value, I would say.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Definitely is like the newer thrash that's been going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like Municipal Waste,
yeah,
and kind of like that newer wave of thrash metal bands, but it has that throwback sound. This is, I like calling this mosh pit music.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? This is like headbanger shit, bro. This like has a good like tempo. And
this is something you listen to when you're getting ready to go out and go to a mosh pit.
Right, yeah.
And it starts and doesn't really stop.
No,
it's very like...
Yeah, there's no slow down songs, and I think the slowest song that is
the last song.
Is the last song.
Yeah.
And it's still heavy and fast.
So his vocals are like mid-range kind of shouting, and then occasionally he like has higher pitch like vibrato, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and occasionally he even goes lower, which I thought was pretty good.
It's like Bruce Dickinson with Slayer beefed up.
Yeah, yeah, in a way, he really kind of covers the whole vocal
like
range.
Rob Halford even.
But he really sticks in his like pocket of what he's comfortable with. And,
for sure.
And it sounds really good. I mean, the bass on this album is amazing. It's got that down-tuned kind of corn feel to it. You could hear the fret noise through the whole thing. It's not like that really tight bass like you hear in a lot of thrash metal bands. There's like that really sloppy hitting the frets, hitting the pickups and everything. And he does these little like bass jams in between, like little extra notes that he throws in there sometimes during the breakdowns on a couple songs, and it's really cool.
Yeah, he's playing the bass.
Oh yeah, he's not just going along with the kick like a lot of thrash metal bands do. He throws his own little flair in there.
And there's like gang shouts, like Municipal Waste, where like people are singing the chorus along with the band. They do that like on almost every song here. Okay, let's talk about what we like about this. For me, it's the energy. There's like an awesome pace, and it's fucking fast, and it's headbanger the whole time. Like you were saying earlier, I'm getting ready to go out or I'm driving somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go thrash a town. This is rioting music.
The first time I like really listened to the album all the way through, I was actually at work, because there's times where I could like listen to a whole album, you know, and like the first time I listened to it was while working, and it totally helped my day out.
Okay.
I kept coming back to this, like I kept listening to it over and over, like easily. I'm like, it just kept calling to me. It has this like tough, mean sound.
It does, and there's not a lot of offensive parts on it. Like there's nothing on here that you're gonna listen to and be like, nah, that part I could have done without. It was even the parts that weren't super great were still really good.
It's like standing in front row at the concert and headbanging for 40 minutes and being like, that's fucking great, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that sucks about that at all.
Yeah,
definitely would be a great live band to see for sure.
Some of it sounds live, like it has that energy to it for sure. It sounds like it it's live.
So that drummer circle pitting the whole time, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. So like the band all looks the part except for the drummer. The drummer looks kind of new metal looking, and everybody in this band's the long hair, the mullet, the jean jacket, the torn up jeans,
the white Adidas high tops.
Yeah, exactly. And the
blue
since I sent that first video out that we watched, they've had like 3 other ones for this album, or 2 other ones for this album, so 3 total. And one of the videos, they're just kind of kicking back, playing video games and drinking beer in their house, which, yeah, this works perfect. And another one they're playing, and the lead singer does the air guitar so many times on that. It makes the video so great.
Yeah, that's like, you guys watch live footage of him, and that's what he's doing as well.
Yeah, he really gets into music. He doesn't just stand there and typical frontman fashion like a lot of bands do. He really gets into what he's doing.
I caught a video of the singer talking about the lyrics of it, and they just seem like fucking cool guys. Like just jean jacket, like drink beer, hang out, kind of.
Yeah, they didn't start a band to be famous. They started a band for beer money.
I really like that it has the sci-fi effect to it too, because you know all these like tech death metal bands, all these other metal bands are like going spacey and stuff. You know, I think more bands in thrash should do this, because I think it works better even in thrash.
It does. It works really good.
The sci-fi thing with it, and like
it works really well. That you mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean he can change his voice a little. I don't know. It's definitely cool.
And it sounds a little futuristic. In that video I was talking about, he talks about the song Juggernaut, which is fucking killer. That's one of the better songs on this album. But apparently what he said was this song's about like an army tank, or like a big, he says Panzer because he's from Germany, right? So, and it's like humongous, and it's just like wiping out the planet, wreaking havoc, and I was just...
That's cool.
That's what I fucking love about this album, is like it captures what I love about metal. Yeah. Which is that tough, mean, like you feel like a badass when you listen to this.
Yeah, and it doesn't do it in a look how hardcore and how like grindy and how deep my voice can be.
It's not very aggressive.
It's not cheesy.
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle, where it's like one song sounds like Slayer. And it fucking works, bro.
There's a song, I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but there's a riff at the intro of one of the songs on here where I swear it's a Megadeth intro.
There was...
Yeah. It's so good. So I had a question about one of the songs, Antidote to Order. There's a part in there where he says, order is our greatest enemy. And I don't know if he says order or if he says water. And I really hope he says water is our greatest enemy, because I couldn't find lyrics on this, but through the whole song it feels like the vibe they're throwing down is like, oh, let's get drunk and fuck shit up. And so I was like, oh, I hope he says water is our greatest enemy, because nobody wants to be sober.
That's like some municipal ways art party and shit. Yeah,
it's so funny. I was like, man, I really wish I could find lyrics for this, because that would be really cool.
I tried looking up the lyrics too, because like I saw interviews and stuff, and you know they talked about the sci-fi. I mean the album cover and everything. And then there's like another video too that's like way sci-fi looking.
The one with the nose
people. Yeah. So I wanted to read the lyrics, because I was like, this is probably like right up my alley too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This song has some pretty good lyrical content, and their videos kind of really push it to really enforce what they're singing about, which is cool. Like a lot of bands, they just do a video with them playing live or whatever. These guys, Give Us Life, I think is the video that we're thinking about, and it's about the evolution of, seems like it's about the evolution of people.
Oh, he talks about that. Yeah, you're on the right track. He talks about it's like the evolution, but all the pain that comes with it, the destruction.
From the beginning of time, the Flash or whatever. It's cool. Like he covers this whole span of existence in this one song, and it's so good.
It's interesting. It's like it's kind of deep content, but it's totally like headbanger approach where you're just like, I just want to, there's been destruction forever. Bro.
Yeah, it's one of those albums that you could listen to and never know what the lyrics were about, and it's still a great album. And then you peel back the layers of the onion and you get into the lyrics, and it's a completely different album.
That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely liked the vocals were the best thing for me, and then I also loved that it was thrashy. I love the fact that it is Bruce Dickinson style vocals with some thrash, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that hardcore like you know, he's
having fun.
He's, you know, having fun with it. Rob Halford comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when I listen to this
it's
band,
not that like high pitched though. It's not like soaring over.
Like
if he could, he would.
Yeah, right. You know, he's not doing big notes like "Run to the Hills" kind of stuff.
Well, exactly. But what I mean is, it's a different style for the thrash to me. At least right now, there's
like
not too many.
When Rob Halford gets like low and he's doing quick, it sounds like that for sure. But not like the big like.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's something I thought was going to bug me about this because of the higher vocals on that first track. I was like, I hope it doesn't get much higher than this. And he did a really good job of keeping it in, and like his tone throughout the whole thing never gets too much.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about those vocals, that's kind of like one of my dislikes is it never really changes. Like he has that mid range, and it kind of like jumps up into that higher pitch kind of vibrato sound that he does. It sounds weird. You know, I can't even describe it, but it kind of bugs me that there's not a lot of variation there.
So that was one of the things I put for my dislikes was the lyric or the vocals are good, but at times they do get kind of not really mono, but stale, I guess you could say.
They're kind of grating, like AC/DC.
Yeah.
And it gets old after a while. You're like, this is just kind of like...
I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities for him to display his vocal ability, because he does a really good job when he goes into those lows and that really raspy kind of kind of mid-range that he does. And I think he could have used that more to kind of break up the monotony of some of the stuff. But overall, it's decent. But I think that, and then some of the riffs on the guitar on the same parts where the vocals get kind of played out, I feel like they drag out the guitar parts a little bit too much on some of the stuff.
And he never sings any whole notes. Like it's always like dun, 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 dun. You know, he's never doing like longer notes where he's belting.
I think there's one part
and when he does, it's like almost annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
No, definitely. There's like a part where he does like a long like. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, just chop it up, homie.
For me, the dislikes were that it was just, you know, just
and
constantly. It doesn't let up. And also, the parts where I got like piqued in interest, I literally heard like every newer Slayer song. I heard like Metallica. I heard all the good riffs in it were other people's riffs, I felt like. I'm not saying they're completely like, just been done. I've heard it before.
Very similar.
And also the mix in this, I think the drums are way too loud. And like, I think it's kind of off. But I think they're kind of in their own way. Like if they would kind of try not too hard to like have this riff, but then it would probably be boring.
Yeah.
I think this is on par with bands like Warbringer and Municipal Waste, Gamma Bomb, like these more modern thrash metal bands.
I think those bands are better though.
Okay, I wouldn't disagree, I guess. But do we need more of this throwback thrash? Like, we've all heard this shit 100 times. Like, it's good, but this was done in 1985 already.
It was. I think the difference that they bring to this is the sci-fi kind of element.
Okay.
Sure. So this is totally your throwback 1985 thrash metal with better production value, but with an update in the style of the lyrics. And to touch on what Nate said with the drums, you don't hear a lot of thrash from back in the day with blast beats.
That's true. Well, and clear drums like this, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're loud in the mix, but they're not sloppy at all.
No, they're not sloppy at all. So, yeah, I think I agree with that.
I would agree with you completely, too. Like, it's just kind of like I've already heard this. And the newer bands that do this, I kind of would probably go back to that before I would go back to this. Not a horrible album, but there's definitely dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
So for ratings, I give this a 3.4 out of 5. It's pretty good. I call this high velocity thrash metal. Like this is headbanger shit I want to put on. 3.4.
So I gave this a 4.2 out of 5.
Wow.
I really like this one. I think, like you said, I kept catching myself going back to it and singing along with it. And I think just his vocals aren't the typical thrash, annoying, high-pitch thing. And that's what really got me into it. I think that's the thing that turns me off a lot of thrash. And I really like the sci-fi elements of it. It just makes it fun and different.
So I gave it a 2.9. And I gave it a 2.9 because I think that they have something, and they're not really... They should kind of not get in their way of trying to be that that modern thrash thing that's going on. I've heard it before, and I probably would listen to it again because of the high energy and maybe a couple songs.
Mm-hmm.
I like maybe 3 songs that I would play over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a 2.9 for me.
This is Blenderstyle. That was Space Chaser, Give Us Life. Please blend responsibly.